What's up, guys? It's Saber. I'd like to welcome you to hopefully the first of many workshops, this one focusing on the Golaloon or Golaloon attack strategy. The names are pretty much interchangeable, it doesn't really matter, whichever one you prefer. Today's video, we're hopefully going to focus on the basics. This will be the first of a series of 3 video plan chat things that I do on this app, Udoodle. Because of the limits that Kick allows you to send in one message. You can't send a 6-minute video in one message for some reason. I don't know why it doesn't let you do that, but that's besides the point. So the goals of this video, this is probably going to be the shortest of the 3. This is going to be talking basics for Golaloon. Today we're talking about cold-blooded Golaloon, which means you're bringing one golem to take out one air defense. I would always suggest on bringing this golem in the clan support so that it is max level golem. We can talk different variations at a later time when we do the kill squad video. First things first, let's talk about the minimum prerequisite troops to pull off this attack. Obviously, you need Lava Hounds, max level balloons, a King of level 10, a Queen of level 5, Wizards level 5, Wall Breakers level 5, a Jump Spell, and a max Rage Spell. The suggested prerequisites, which is basically, obviously it's going to go a little better if you have these. You can still do it with the minimum. The suggested prerequisites would be Lava Hound level 2. In my experience, this is a huge help. It's made a difference in dozens of my raids. Again, the max level balloons, King to level 10, Queen to level 10, Wizard level 5, Wall Breaker level 5, Jump to level 2, and that's a big one too. Because Jump Spell to level 1, you have to wait a little bit longer, and Jump Spell level 2 doubles the time that Jump Spell is active. And again, the max Rage Spell. So that would be your suggested prerequisites. The execution of this raid, it's a 2-part attack. It has a ground kill squad and then a air raid for going for the 3-star basically. So let's first talk about the kill team. The kill team is going to be made up your clan support golem, your wizards, your heroes, sometimes wall breakers, sometimes jump spells. It depends on the location of the queen and the air defense. Sometimes you can get to the queen and the air defense with just 2 wall breakers and you save yourself that spell space. You can turn that jump spell into haste spells. You can turn it into another rage spell for your balloons. It's really up to you. You can also bring another rage spell for your clan support, or to kill the enemy clan support, excuse me, if you don't bring a jump spell. But that can be going into more detail in a second video. The goal of that kill team is to go in, kill the queen, 1 air defense, and the clan support. So on this base, I'm just going to mark them in a sky blue type color, just so everyone sees where they are on this base. They're pretty obvious, but the queen and the air defense I'll circle together. They're over here on this right. Clan support's over on this left. Another goal of the kill team is to bring the clan support to the kill team. You don't want the kill team going to the clan support. So you have to be careful when the clan support comes out, when your kill team encounters the clan support. You don't want to encounter the clan support right before you're reaching the air defense, because then your queen, who is usually the one who ends up taking down the air defense, will be distracted by a dragon or, God forbid, a lava hound, and then your raid is in deep trouble from the beginning. You want to have the clan support hitting the kill squad right as it's entering the first layer. So after that's your wall breakers, after that's your jump spell, whatever that might be, but that's your goal. So on this base, you would probably want to send in a hog on the back end just so that clan support comes out, and then the minute you drop your golem, it's already coming to you as opposed to you going into it. The next thing that we're going over is the air portion of the raid. The air portion of the raid, in my opinion, is pretty easy, but it takes a little bit of practice. The system is called clockwise or counterclockwise deploy. The first thing that you need to understand is the number of lava hounds that you're going to bring, and this is dependent on your kill squad's execution. If you are bringing 1 golem, you're assuming you're taking down 1 air defense. In that instance, you would bring 4 lava hounds. You always want to have 1 more lava hound than there are air defenses remaining, just in case one of them goes down because of a double seeking air mine or something like that. And we'll see in this raid when we watch it in a little bit. That's actually what happened to me. My first lava hound on the 2nd air defense took a double seeking air mine and instantly died. And if I wouldn't have had the 4th, I would have lost the raid. Anyway, so that's that for lava hounds. On to the goals for the air team. You're going to want to drop the lava hounds as a shield, send them in from different angles so that they get a lot of the traps that could damage your balloons, and then just sort of drop rage spells so that as many balloons as possible can get into those rage spells. With lava hound attacks, you're going to want to use surgical balloons, so that means try to target 2 defenses, or 2 balloons per each defense, so that they drop it, that defense is gone, they move on. When the balloons clump up, that is when you're in danger of losing a raid, because a single wizard tower can take down 16 balloons that are all together, and that is just tragically bad. Next thing on the list, bonuses for your kill team. if you're going in, if you can get an Expo, a Wizard Tower, an Archer Tower, that's all excellent. But again, that really comes down to your golem. You want to be careful where you place your jump spell, because if you place it too far out and the golem dies and it splits into golemites, there's no way your king is going to be able to go out and get that, because your king is doing most of the damage. The golem is just kind of his human shield. So that's basically that for the basics of Golaloon. I'll be making the second video any minute now on what I'll call the kill squad mechanics and the inner details. I'll be using this base as the first example, and we'll be doing a couple of these examples today. Again, thank you guys for all signing up for this this lecture, this workshop, whatever you want to call it, and hopefully we can all improve together. Saber signing off for part 1 of this raid. Welcome back to today's Golaloon workshop. This will be part 2 of 3 of this raid against Mort, and then we'll actually watch the literal raid. Shout out to Palom for getting that raid on video for me. This video will be focused on kill squad mechanics. First thing you want to see with your kill squad is how many golems you're bringing in. For this video, we're focusing on the cold-blooded Golaloon, so that means 1 golem, so that question's already taken care of. But the next question is, what are your objectives? And your objectives for any sort of Lavaloon raid are, first of all, you want to get the queen, who I'm going to note in this bluish color. The queen, at least 1 air defense, and you have options here. If you bring a jump spell, you can get this one or this one. And then you have to want to bring down the CC, and the CC is over here. One of the things you want to notice with your kill squad is you want the CC to reach your troops on your terms, not on its own terms. And so because of that, for this raid, I would suggest sending in a hog, weak side, which is actually what I ended up doing. Down here, H, back in this weak side. And because of that, the clan support comes flying out towards that hog. He dies pretty quick, but then as soon as I drop my golem up here on this right side, this clan support's going to start coming across the base. So let's talk about the golem, and let's talk about how to get our troops where we want them to go. And this is basic funneling mechanics. If you need more information on this, then I have some video links I can send to you about breaking the ring and such. But the ring, as it's called, is the circle of buildings around the base. And so we're going to focus on this side of the ring, because this is where we're going to be dropping our kill squad. Note to self, the kill squad is always going to be dropped closest to the queen, so that's easiest to kill her, unless you have really high level heroes and you want to trek halfway across the base. That's really up to you, but I prefer to do it the easy way. So we're going to say our golem comes out of our clan support here, and he goes forward towards this wall. For this base, you're probably going to want to bring a couple wall breakers. I will make them yellow just because, and drop them at this wall here. Knock that out, the golem gets in, but you don't want to drop the wall breakers until your funnel is made. So I typically bring 6 wizards for my funnel, and what you want to do is you want to figure out how you can break this ring. So I look at this ring and I say, the easiest buildings for me to knock out would be this gold storage and this elixir storage. So I drop 2 wizards by each of them, because I'm not sure if they're going to be under fire or not. And that knocks them out pretty quick. I usually bring 6 wizards, so that leaves me with 2 more. So I knock out this lab and this spell factory. And that leaves me with this nice little army camp left as an anchor point for my heroes. So as all that stuff's going down, I drop my king and I drop my queen, who are going to be orange and purple for this video. You kind of have to time it up with the wall breakers, the king and the queen, and at that point they're all sort of just headed in. So we'll just put that in black for a directional motion. They're headed in, and they're probably going to be taking the clan support on head-on, and that's what you want. You want the clan support to hit your kill team when it's strong. As this is going on, you're now thinking about your jump spell. So your jump spell, I'm going to knock out the defenses in green that you want to have down before your jump spell goes down. You're probably going to want to have this wizard tower go down, this mortar go down, and at least one of these 2 defenses here to go down before you drop your jump spell, because I don't know what kind of level jump spells you guys have. I have level 2, so I can get away with a mistimed jump spell because I have 30 seconds to get my troops into it. I don't believe that's the case for most of you. So I drop my jump spell somewhere around there, open up 2 layers of walls, and make the air defenses conveniently located for me. I ended up getting lucky on this raid because the king almost dies because of these Teslas, and he eventually goes down, but my queen ends up knocking them out. So let's just go over once again the goals for your kill squad: the queen, the CC, and the air defense. The queen is the most important objective of these goals, because the queen will ruin your air raid 10 times out of 10. This clan support is the second most objective, but sometimes you can skip it. If you have a lava hound in your CC, it's almost better to let your ground troops die than to deal with it, like as long as you still get the queen. because a lava hound cannot attack air troops. So if you have a bunch of air troops out there, the lava hound's just going to sit there and your troops will attack around them. If it's a dragon, you need to deal with that dragon because it will ruin your raid. Third most important objective is that air defense. That air defense, when you're facing level 7 air defenses, it's a big deal. Against level 6s, not so much. Depends on the strength of the base. I've missed air defenses before, and I've still 3-starred the base. It just really depends on your skill as an attacker. Fourth important thing is timing. Timing during the kill team is really what differentiates your raid from a success or a failure. And that is something that you can only get from practice, from watching other people do it. So if you're really interested in this raid, I would focus on not only watching my raids, because there's only going to be 2 of them every war, but I would also focus on watching, say, One Hive has a good strategy guide on it, or Powerbang Gaming on YouTube also has a great strategy guide on it. But that's the mechanics of the kill squad, and so that's going to be that for this portion of our video chat series. The next thing up is going to be the Lava Hound, the air portion. This is Saber signing off, and I'll be back in a few minutes with your air portion of the attack. What's up, guys? Saber coming back at you with the third and final portion of this planning part of the raid. It's going to be the actual air attack, and so we're going to assume, for all intents and purposes, I'm going to use the black color, I guess. We're going to assume for this portion of the raid that anything I draw a line through in black is already gone. So we're going to say all of this stuff's already gone, and we're just going to guess and say that this air defense is gone because that's what actually happens in the raid, and maybe anything in here is gone. So we'll scratch all this stuff out, something like that, and we're just going to assume that all that is gone. So we're going to ignore that before this part of the raid starts. So first of all, let's talk about lava hounds. As I mentioned previously in the first video, your lava hounds are going to be red for this video. But as I mentioned in the first video when we were talking about the basics, you always want to have one more lava hound than there's air defenses remaining. So in this case, I see 3 air defenses, so that means 4 lava hounds. When you deploy your hounds, you want to deploy them at off angles, different from each other, so that they soak up as many traps as possible. You have 4 lava hounds, and you're going to have to deploy all of them. But I would suggest deploying 2 on the first air defense, because typically the first air defense is where your raid falters. If your raid falters on the first air defense, that can really just ruin everything. So we're going to say for this base that we're going to want to send a lava hound on this angle coming in, because he'll still go to that air defense because it's closest, and we're probably going to want to send another one on this angle. As that is going on, what color for balloons should we use? I'm going to use, I guess I'll use, I'll use this like meteor color for balloons. You're going to want to drop 2 balloons. I'm going to just do little X's going at each defense. So an X here, X, in each X will represent 2 balloons. An X here, going for this mortar. And this is really the most important part of the raid. What's going to happen is, as all of these sort of defenses are targeting your lava hounds, your balloons are taking them out. This is where the timing is absolutely essential for victory. Because what you have to do is this first group, usually has the bulk of your forces, and the middle of the base is typically the strongest. This is where you're going to run into your air expos, your Tesla farms, etc. This base wasn't that way, but usually it is. So you're going to want to send your 3rd lava hound in at this air defense, and as you're doing that, you're dropping more balloons. And what this is doing is it's really forcing your first group of balloons to head into the core, because if you send balloons in here, and all of these defenses start disappearing, there's no reason for these balloons to path anywhere but in. And that ends up being greatly to your advantage. As this is going through, assuming that nothing bad happens to any of your lava hounds and no double seeking air mines spring up and kill everything, you then deploy your 3rd hound somewhere around here so that he heads toward this air defense. Any balloons you have remaining, you send over there. Now, what I did not talk about as I was going through this is rage spells, which I'm going to denote in purple. You're going to probably want to drop a rage over the entrance zone of your first thing. So I usually drop 1 here. My second rage is usually over an air defense. So I'll put it somewhere around here, just for that purpose, because if I have 2 lava hounds on the air defense, I usually don't need a rage, but this is just something you kind of learn with practice. And then my 3rd rage is going to be over the back end, is here. I typically bring 1 poison and 1 haste, the poison just to sort of slow down the attack speed of the CC. That haste spell, I usually like to save for cleanup. I will make it pink, but that's really up to you. Sometimes you'll need it during the raid. And as you'll see in a later fail that I'm going to show you, I had to use it during the raid because all my balloons clumped up. But I use that haste spell somewhere around here just to make sure that wizard goes down, and also to get them moving through these these trash buildings faster for the cleanup. You can execute a Golaloon perfectly, but if you don't execute it fast enough, you will lose on time 9 times out of 10. Now, I've gotten to the point where I can typically get it done with 30 seconds to spare. This raid in the current war, I actually got it done with a whole minute to spare, which was really ridiculous. But I mean, that's basically the gist of it. You go through, you knock out the queen, the clan support, and an air defense with your kill team, and you come in and do work with the lava hounds and the balloons. And so hopefully this has helped you guys understand Golaloon a little bit. For the next couple video things that I'm going to go through and plan, we're not going to do a basics. We're just going to do kill squad for this base and air attack for this base, and that will be that. We're then going to go through and actually show you the raids. I don't have all of them recorded on my phone, so shout out to Palom for the ones that I do have. But the other ones, I'll just tell you where they are on Clash of Clans in the war, and you'll go look at them. So hopefully that's all good for you guys. Thank you very much again for signing up for this workshop, and hopefully you learned something and helps us get better as a clan. This is Saber signing off. Alright, so here comes the actual raid of the Golaloon. It doesn't show it there, but a hog was used to lure out that dragon. Here comes the golem, the wizard's down with the funnel like we talked about, and that anchor point is used for the king and queen. The king almost goes around here, but not quite. The wall breakers save him and send him in. Thankfully, this dragon targets the golem, and he's slowly but surely picked off by the consistent fire from the archer queen. Queen goes down to the king, jump spell is down, king takes out that cannon, and this is where things sort of start to deviate from the plan, because the dragon's still lingering a little longer, and he starts targeting the king. Thankfully, the queen eventually takes him down. But the Barb King hits a giant bomb here, which cripples his health, and then runs into 2 Teslas. So he's unable to take down the air defense as planned. Thankfully, the queen is right there. She puts in some work, used the ability. She takes down the air defense, 2 Teslas, and almost gets the second air defense, which would have been an enormous help to this raid, but it doesn't happen. Lava hounds go down, surgical balloons behind, going to drop a nice rage right over that expo sort of region in a second here. As that's going on, the second group's coming in. This lava hound goes in on the second air defense, and this is also not planned. Double seeking air mine takes down the lava hound, and so it forces me to drop the hound that I had in reserve. Rage spells go down. The other 2 lava hounds are still surviving nicely. The rest of the loons are just wrecking this base, moving slowly but surely towards the final air defense. Here come the hounds with the balloons in tow. Going to drop a nice rage, take down that expo. Hopefully those archer towers will go down pretty soon also. And the amazing thing is, many of the hounds haven't busted yet. 2 of them are down, but there's still 2 full health hounds left, and there finally the third one goes. But I'm going to make it through this raid with 1 lava hound that does not die. And it almost hurt me on time, but I believe I end up ending it out with about, I want to say, 20 to 30 seconds to spare. And so I would speed it up here, but my uploading system is not as efficient as some of the other YouTubers. But that's it. So I guess really what I'd like to say then is thank you for watching today, and I hope you learned something from this little strategy guide I made. Hopefully the first of many. This was one that was used for my clan, and I hope you benefited from it as well. Thank you very much, and this is Saber from the Neighborhood signing off.